So today's web class is going to be all about SEO, 5 strategies to supercharge your user acquisition. And SEO is an interesting topic, right? Because you may have seen online many articles saying SEO is dead. It takes so long to rank for these keywords. It's competitive, it's much faster to invest in paid marketing. Why don't we just do some Facebook ads, etc.? And this is an interesting debate, right? But the truth of the matter is that paid marketing channels are bringing diminishing returns. And what does this even mean? This means that as these channels are maturing, Facebook, Google, etc., the CPCs and the CPMs are increasing all the time, which means that obviously it's a lot more competitive. It's a lot harder to invest, again, ROI in these channels. And a lot of people are actually turning these channels into branding channels because they're not able to make them into performance channels. But what a lot of people aren't focusing on is actually SEO. The first port of call is actually ads on Google or Facebook ads, etc. However, in this web class, I'm going to teach you 5 SEO strategies that you've not heard of before. You may have done them before, but you would not have known them by these names. And these 5 ways are going to help you to stand out in SEO and actually make you much better than the competition. So this is what you're going to learn. The difference between brand and performance SEO, how to use database SEO effectively, what Mashup SEO is and how to use it, how to use Robin Hood SEO to generate thousands of monthly signups. Okay, are you ready? So let's begin with performance SEO. So what is this? So performance SEO is the most common type of SEO. It's probably the SEO we're all trying to do, okay? Because this SEO is all about creating and optimizing content to hit certain metrics. And with performance SEO, the KPI is never engagement, it's never traffic. It's all about funnel metrics, conversion funnel metrics, such as signups, customers, activations, leads, etc. So performance SEO is all about getting those hard metrics, right? So this is probably what all of us are doing, but we haven't called it by this name before, performance SEO. So let me walk through how to do performance SEO, how I do performance SEO, and how I recommend that you do it as well. So when you start, step 1 is mapping content by intent stage, okay? And what I like to use is the product awareness stages, and I'm going to give some examples from Typeform. So the first stage is problem aware. So these are people searching online, they have a problem, but they don't know what that solution is yet. They're not looking for a solution, they're looking for ways to solve their problem. Right? So a couple of examples here could be how to grow my business. They don't know what the solution is, or their survey questions. They have a problem, but they're not looking for that solution yet. So this is the first stage. The next one is called solution aware. So these are people who have a problem, but they know the solution, right? And they're looking for that solution actively in Google. And this is probably the stage that we all focus our attention on. And some examples include, for example, form builder, survey tool in the case of Typeform. So there's people who already know they need a form. They already know they need a survey and they're looking for it. Whereas the stage before are people who do not know they need a survey or form, but they have a problem, right? So this content here would aim to show the searcher that the solution to their problem is using a form or a survey tool, right? And this is how you can actually funnel people down through the different intent stages. And the last stage is product aware. So these are people who already know what your product is. They already know what your brand is. They're looking for Typeform reviews or Typeform pricing, for example. And your job as an SEO is to stand out for these search queries. So as you can see, these are 3 different distinct stages that you need to map your content to. You need to have them in different buckets, and then that will enable you to do performance SEO. So, for example, these pages will be, for example, your homepage, your pricing page, your customer story pages, etc. these pages are like to be more product related pages, use case pages, and this content here is more likely to be a blog post, for example, etc. This is like common structure, but it's important to map your content by these stages and have these in these buckets. And you can create dashboards or reports in Google Analytics, etc. And you can see the differences, because the point of this is that at these different stages, the level of intent is completely different. The conversion rates are completely different. So it's important to have at least a minimum amount of segmentation of your content for when you're doing performance SEO. When you've done this, you need to find your average conversion rates by your intent stage. And here I've added a few example conversion rates of what they could be. These are just dummy conversion rates, they're not real conversion rates, but they showcase that there's a difference in intent level. So for example, if I'm a solution aware phase and I'm looking for a survey tool, then I'm estimating that my visit to sign up rate will be around 30%, because I've typed into Google survey tool. I've landed on a landing page and I want that survey tool, right? So around 30%. And then my sign up to pay conversion rate, so from to customer, is me around about 6%, given that I have a freemium business model. It depends on your business. And just one last example here would be best survey questions, which is a blog post. It hasn't got super high intent. So I'm estimating more or less a 3% conversion rate from visit to sign up, because not everyone looking for best survey questions want a survey tool. And then a slightly lower sign up to pay rate because of that lack of intent. So this is an example of how you can map your conversion rates to the intent buckets. And the first step is to map the intent stages with your content, find out these conversion rates. So in Google Analytics, you can easily find the visit to sign up rate, and then sign up to pay, maybe slightly harder depending on your attribution model. If you look in Google Analytics and you have all of your events set up properly, so sign up and pay, then you can see these. If it's last click, then you can look at your normal reports. And if it's first click or another attribution model, then you can look at the attribution reports in Google Analytics. So once you have them all mapped with your conversion rates, then the next stage is to add potential monthly traffic by content page. Okay. And if you're using online SEO tools, I recommend using Ahrefs, so Ahrefs, yes, that's correct, to find this out. So for example, if you search for survey tool, and then you'll find the top page ranking for this keyword. So we've got WordStream, 8 best survey tools, create awesome surveys for free. You can see this page gets 6.2K traffic monthly. And this is what we're going to use as a benchmark to aspire to of what our page could perform. So if we're trying to rank a page for a survey tool, we think we can get around 6.2K from this keyword. So this is to use as a benchmark that we can add to our spreadsheet, right? So here's an example of some content you might have. One blog post on how to grow my business, another blog post on best survey questions, another page on survey tool. And then here I've actually mapped the top content monthly traffic. And these are just examples, okay? These aren't exact numbers, these are just examples, because a higher intent keyword like survey tool, I'm expecting a lower amount of monthly searches, but then a more broader search term, I'm expecting a lot more. So how to grow my business, best survey questions. And then last, step 4 is to add those, is to calculate the number of signups, number of customers, right? So here I've calculated using the conversion rates that we found before, the number of signups and number of customers. Okay, and imagine you've done this for all of your content. You might have 20 pages, 50 pages, 100 pages, and then you've mapped this out, and then you can clearly slice and dice your data, filter it, order it by your KPI, right? So if your KPI is monthly customers, then you can order it by monthly customers, and then you'd be targeting this page, for example. But of course, there's a caveat, right? Because there's effort involved in ranking these pages. The competitive landscape is different by keywords. So don't forget to add other metrics to this. Here are some examples. Average referring domains. So how many domain names do you need to get? How much link building outreach do you need to do per page to even get it on the first page? What's the cost to even produce this content? If this blog post here, how to grow my business, is a huge guide, then clearly it's going to cost a lot more money than a landing page, or maybe it's not. If you're doing customer research for your landing page, So it adds the cost to produce this content as well. Gave it a score out of 10 between being less expensive and more expensive. And lastly, geographies. If your goal is to get people in the US, but that particular piece of content or keyword gets a higher percentage of people from the UK, then maybe you don't want to choose that piece of content to rank for. And geographies you can find from many tools. I use Google Keyword Planner, and it gives you a breakdown of the countries by keyword as well, so you can use that. So this was performance SEO. So it's all about those performance-driven metrics, finding out the intent buckets, the conversion rates, mapping all of your current and future content to this, and then having a very clear methodology to choosing new content to create based on these metrics, based on the effort and the rewards involved. So now we've looked at performance SEO. Let's have a look at brand SEO. Like, is this the opposite to performance SEO? Let's have a look. So brand SEO refers to ranked content that aims to increase your brand awareness so that future customers choose your brand. Okay? And performance SEO often misses out top of the funnel content touch points because of the low conversion rates, right? This type of content doesn't necessarily have to generate a sign up or a customer, but it's part of the user journey. This is the point here. There's a journey that the user goes through. It doesn't just start at the intent stages, it starts much before that. And you want to show for these different keywords. So I've put here, remember the 7-touch rule. And there's this theory that before someone becomes a customer or sign up, they need at least 7 touch points with your brands until they do so. So by investing into brand SEO, you can help to achieve this. So to illustrate what this means, I've got an example here from Typeform. And Typeform wrote a blog post called 25 Websites to Find Original Free Stock Photos. And this blog post got almost no signups at all, but it gets 9,000 organic visits per month. That's a lot of visits per month. And the aim of this type of content, like I said before, is to not get signups and customers. It's there to be part of the customer journey. So how do you choose what content to create? You choose the content to create because you know what personas you're trying to target. So if you're trying to target marketers, for example, then you'd create content aimed at marketers, although it doesn't have a high correlation to them then using your product. And on these pages, of course, you can find ways to convert them. You can have content upgrades, sign up to my newsletter, cool. But the initial ROI might not be there. And this is going to be a big trend going forward, investing in brand SEO. So have that in mind. And another example I wanted to give you was from HubSpot. So HubSpot, they get 4.3 million organic visits per month to their marketing blog, and that's a hell of a lot of traffic, right? So, but they're actually doing a lot of brand SEO. For example, let's have a look at their top page in the US, shrug emoji. You think people looking for a shrug emoji then go and pay for this product? Or how to make a GIF, link shortener, best time to post on Instagram, mission statement, okay? So these aren't things highly correlated to your product, but they're there. They target the key persona. So that in the future, when they're looking for a tool or a solution related to your brand, they're likely to choose you because they already know you, even if it's in their subconscious. So this is what brand SEO is all about. So let's move on to database SEO. So what is this? So database SEO refers to dynamically building content based on a database of information that you already have at your fingertips. Okay? Let me show you what I mean. How? Ancestry. You may have heard of Ancestry before. They're a very big company, and you're able to build your family tree on there. You can do DNA tests, etc. And this is one of Ancestry's pages. It looks at name meaning. It's quite a simple page, but all of these pages together get almost 3 million visits per month. 3 million just these pages, and they have over 4 million of these pages for 4 million surnames. How did they do this? So Ancestry collect millions of data points, and they have a database of millions of surnames. So what they decided to do with their database that they already had, that they were giving access to through a paywall to their members, is they decided to create millions of dynamic pages based on this content. And they're all ranked in Google because they realized that their target market was searching in Google for the meaning behind their surname because they were interested in the history of their family. And they made these pages, and they were able to capture all of this demand in Google, and then they added call to actions to funnel all of this traffic into their product. So what they were able to do was realize they were sitting on this database of information that they weren't using, and they took it and they created these pages, and now they're getting 3 million new visits to their website per month by doing this. That is crazy. And as you can see here, they have similar surname sections, and this is so that Googlebot can navigate to every different page and find all of them. It says 4 million, so internal linking for them is very, very important. Here's another example of database SEO from Canva. So Canva, they have over 50,000 templates for their product. 2 million in traffic per month. It was higher before, but for some reason it dipped. But 2 million is a lot of traffic that goes to their website. Like I said, they've got around about 60,000 templates. And what's interesting about this is that when you land on a template page, there's no text. There's no H1, there's no H2, there's no paragraph. So you're thinking, how do 60,000 templates bring in 2 million traffic when there's no text on the page at all? Because the secret to the success is that the templates do not rank in Google, but the categories of the templates do. So here's an example, advertising poster template. And this is what ranks in Google. And as you can see on the left sidebar, they have hundreds of different categories. And if I could scroll down right now, at the bottom is where they put a block of content to give some more context to Google. So I'll check out Canva templates and have a little look and see what their strategy is, because they're using database SEO very effectively. And this picture is, can anyone guess where it is? If you can guess where it is, then comment now. Anyone? So no one's guessed? Okay, so this is Manila in the Philippines. And why I'm putting this picture here is because Canva, to create this database of information, they're working with a design agency here in Manila. And they were so good, they actually bought the whole agency. And now they have a huge office in Manila. And they're churning out new templates every single day to feed and create this database that ranks to get 2 million 2 million views per month. And I thought that was pretty impressive. And I wanted to see if any of you knew where this place was as well. That was another reason why I put this in here. Here's some other ideas that you can use to implement database SEO. So one idea is an app or integration directory. So Slack's app directory gets 122k monthly organic visitors per month. So if your brand right now has integrations, think about how you could create a directory for these integrations and rank for different keywords. You could create a dictionary or glossary. So Shopify's encyclopedia gets 261,000 monthly organic visitors per month, and that is a lot of traffic. And what they did is they created a business glossary about business terms, and people in their journey were googling these terms. And then they attracted these people, and then they used different CTAs to get their information. Another example, like Canva, is you can create a theme or a template directory. So think, do people use templates or themes of your product? Could you create a directory for this? So Wix's template gallery gets almost 300,000 monthly organic visitors per month. It's not as much as Canva's, but still a lot. This is in a different niche, right? This is in the website building niche. So that, guys, is database SEO. Mashup SEO. What's this? So Mashup SEO is all about using APIs. With Mashup SEO, you use a lot of different APIs or web scrapers to create dynamic pages on the fly. So this is actually opposite to database SEO, as you're using data from other providers instead of your own. So let me show you an example of what Mashup SEO is all about. So here's an example. If you're learning a language, you may have seen this before. It's a website which is all about translation. So I looked for the search term in inflection growth. And as you can see here, it shows me some translations. But this content is not owned by Lingui. This content has been taken by different sources. So what they made was a scraper which scraped the internet, took this content and added it to this page, which allowed them to rank this page in Google to get 12 million visits per month. 12 million visits per month by scraping content and mashing it up together into web pages. 12 million. Like, have you ever thought about scraping or using APIs to take content from other places and create dynamic content on the fly with that content? But here's some ideas on how you can implement Mashup SEO. So Clearbit, you may have heard of this before, you may have not. So Clearbit turns IP addresses, email addresses into information such as company size, industry, tech stack, etc. So you can use Clearbit's API to actually build dynamic pages on the fly. You can get information about other companies. BuzzSumo, so you can build news or resource pages on given subjects. So they actually in the API you can actually find like top articles, etc., in different niches or search keywords, and you can take this information and put it onto your web page to create different pages. Twitter, so you can search for tweets on a given topic or create statistics on different topics. So imagine you want to create a business quotes directory. You could search for these business quotes on Twitter and create hundreds, thousands of business quotes pages on the fly and get thousands or tens of thousands of traffic per month because you use Twitter's API to create these dynamic pages, or you aggregated different tweets together on different subjects, So this gets you thinking that when you're doing SEO and content, it's not just let's outsource an article to a content writer website or find a writer on Upwork, It's not, or I know, let's create a WordPress blog. This is not what SEO is all about, right? I mean, the future of online marketing through AI, machine learning, etc. Think, where is SEO going to be going, right? So think about using APIs to create content, to add value to existing pages as well, and think how you can scale pages through Mashup SEO. So Mashup SEO is all about using APIs or scrapers to create dynamic pages. It's the opposite of database SEO because you're using other people's data to create pages instead of your own data to create pages. That is the difference between the two, between database SEO and Mashup SEO. Okay, last tactic for SEO is Robin Hood SEO, one of my favorite ones. So why is it even called Robin Hood SEO? It's called this because this SEO tactic is all about stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. And by rich, I mean websites with a lot of traffic, and by poor, I mean you. So let's see how you can implement Robin Hood SEO in your SEO strategy. There's two types of Robin Hood SEO. Let's look at the first one. Number one is all about stealing your competitors' featured snippets. I've got two facts here on the screen. First one is 12% of all search queries have a feature snippet. That is a lot. And secondly, 8.6% of all of the clicks from these searches are on the featured snippet. And just imagine there's Google ads on the page and the organics, yet 8.6% of the clicks go to these results. 12% of queries go to these results. So like 12% of all of the keywords you're trying to rank for have feature snippets. So one tactic that you need to have in your SEO plan is Robin Hood SEO, stealing your competitor feature snippets. So how can you even do this? I recommend using Ahrefs again. It is my favorite SEO tool, and you can easily find your competitors' feature snippets, create a plan, and steal them. So you can easily search for your competitor. You can change the position to 1 to 10 because feature snippets are only on the first page. Here you can select feature snippets, so you have at least one. And here is an example from Wix, and you can see all of the keywords which have a feature snippet. So for example, they have create your own logo, how to make a YouTube channel, etc. And Wix will have a feature snippet for this keyword. So what you can do today or tomorrow is go on Ahrefs, add in your competitors one by one, download the spreadsheet of these feature snippets, aggregate the data, and create a list of all of the featured snippets, so all of the keywords with a feature snippet that you can steal and gain traffic from. Remember, 12% of queries, 8.6% of all clicks. So if this is not part of your SEO strategy, you need to make it part of your SEO strategy right now. Cool. Type 2 of Robin Hood SEO is rank for your competitors' brand names. So this is a bit aggressive, but it lets you find qualified traffic for your website. So how can you rank for your competitors' brand names, or in general other brand names in the space? It doesn't have to be your competitors, it can be your indirect competitors or just other brand names. So this is really important because for certain companies, for example, Zapier, they use this tactic when there's little or no search volume for the actual product. You know, they have a new market which is not defined yet. So you have to find backdoor entrances to gain traffic, to power and accelerate and grow their business. So Zapier rank for hundreds, thousands of brand names. Look at this, for example. They're on page 1 for constant contact. They're position 1 for ManyChat pricing. Position 1 for someone else's brand. They're almost on the first page for Office 365. And look, 5 million searches per month. When they get on that page, this is going to skyrocket. QuickBooks Online. Look, they're almost on the first page for these brands. This is only a few of them. They have a lot more. And this is only in the US. How are they even doing this? So they do this in different ways. So this is a page they have. This is an overview page of the brand. So here they have constant contact. And as you can see in the H1 here, constant contact features, pricing, alternatives, and more. This page aims to rank for the brand name. Here I've got a table to show exactly how this works. So this overview page, like I showed you before, the aim is to rank for brand terms related to features and pricing. So for example, constant contact features, constant contact pricing. This page. If you scroll down and just look at Zapier, analyze what they do, you need to be analyzing all of these different websites because it's very interesting. And if you scroll down, there's it shows you the features, the pricing. So when people are searching for ManyChat pricing, they find Zapier, and then they think, maybe I could be using that tool as well. They also rank for the integrations. So they have this page, integrations here, and they rank for exact match brand term plus integrations. So for example, constant contact integrations, or just constant contact, just for brand. And then lastly, they have a versus page, which you can't see here. You have to scroll down. So they compare two brands. So they compare Gravity Forms versus Constant Contact, or Typeform versus SurveyMonkey, Wix versus Squarespace. Canva versus Pictochart, etc. So they have these comparison pages. So this is important when you're developing your Robin Hood strategy for type 2, which is dealing your competitors or other brands traffic. You'd have 3 different types of pages. Number 1, overview, features and pricing. Number 2, plus integration. If that's relevant, you can list integrations and think maybe you could combine this with Mashup SEO to get more information on these brands, right? And then last one, versus. So when you've added all of these brands or competitors, so maybe you're doing comparison pages between your product and another brand. Think about adding a comparison page too. So versus, so your brand against their brands, and also their brand against another brand. So don't just compare your brand with a competitor, also compare a competitor with a competitor, and then you're going to get even more traffic. So this is one thing most people don't think about, but don't just compare yourself with someone else, compare someone else with someone else as well. And that's going to get you a lot more traffic. So this is Robin Hood SEO, guys. Type 1 is about feature snippets, and type 2 is about taking traffic from other brands, people, qualified traffic, and then getting that traffic yourself. And here's a bonus. I forgot I added this bonus, but here's a bonus, guys. This one is a campaign Zendesk did. So Zendesk realized that, well, you can see for yourself. Look at how many people are bidding on the Zendesk alternative keywords. So there's Freshdesk, Intercom, etc. But they made a website called Zendesk Alternative, as you can see here, and they made this kind of like parody of a rock band called Zendesk Alternative. Check it out, it's super cool. But what they did here was they realized a lot of people were searching for Zendesk Alternative. They were losing a lot of customers. They were churning. They were going elsewhere. So they created this campaign to keep their customers with them, to create something which their customers thinking about changing saw, right? And this was a major part of their competitive marketing strategy, which allowed them to reduce churn and therefore retain more customers. So when thinking about your competitor strategy, also think about what are your competitors doing to you? How many people are bidding on your brand term, and what can you do and what can you do about that? Think about what Zendesk did. Can you create a creative campaign so when people look for your brand plus alternative, etc., you show as number 1 instead of someone else in a really creative way, which stands out? So think about this. Okay, guys. So this was the web class, and here's a recap before I open up the floor for some questions. So performance SEO is all about hitting those hard metrics, so the signups, customers, leads, etc. Remember, map by intent stage. The conversion rate is completely different. You need to have all of your content, existing and plans, researched, all mapped out in a spreadsheet. If you don't have this, you need to do it. This is a must in your SEO strategy. 2, brand SEO. This is all about engaging your prospects before they are looking for you. This is going to be harder to get buy-in where you're working to do brand SEO because there's no direct ROI, but you need to have some kind of budget for brand SEO, because we know that a prospect needs at least 7 touches with your brand before they become a lead or before they pay. And this is going to become increasingly important over the next couple of years in SEO. Database SEO is what using your own database to create hundreds of pages on the fly. So what you can do today is think, does your company have a database of information that is not being used to create pages? So ranking Google, have a think about this and think, how could you implement this in your own business? Number 4 is Mashup SEO. So it's about using external APIs to create dynamic content on the fly. So think about this. Think what pages could be beneficial to your brand. Can you use different APIs to create this content if you don't have it already? Which would be database SEO. And the last one is Robin Hood SEO. So like I just said, stealing your competitors' feature snippets. This is a must of your SEO plan, your SEO strategy. Remember, 8.6% of all clicks. If you don't have this in your strategy, then you need to add it in to your strategy. And the last one is all about ranking for your competitor brand terms or other brand terms. This is a very good strategy to find qualified traffic. So this should be a part of your SEO strategy. So what I would say is when you're creating your SEO strategy, think about all of these different types of SEO: performance, brand, database, Mashup, Robin Hood, and dedicate a section for each of these in your SEO strategy and explain what you're going to do to impact the numbers. Okay, so think about these different things when creating your SEO strategy. So that was it, guys. I hope you learned a lot. So now opening this up to questions that you may have. So please ask any questions and I'd be happy to reply to them. Thank you.